All right, so we're looking at 4.4b. Again, our goal is to solve logarithmic equations here on 4.4. On the first video, we looked at type 1 equations. And just to refresh your memory, you should have this already written down. Right? We did type 1 equations on the first video. Now we're going to take a look at these type 2 equations, where we're going to have logs on one side, just one side. And let's review real quick. Whenever I notice that there's logs only on one side of the equation, I want to make sure that I only have one log on one side and numbers on the other. And I really want to be careful with this guy. So we're going to go over exactly how I want this to look. I don't want any multipliers in front. I don't want to add or subtract anything. I just want it to be the logarithm by itself. And then once I get that logarithm by itself, I'm going to convert it to exponential form, and then I'm going to solve. So just to refresh our memory, right? So the definition of logarithms, it says if a to the x equals b, then log base a of b equals x. We're going to be going from logarithmic to exponential form here, okay? Let's take a look at our first example. It says 2 log base 7 of negative 2r equals 0. Now, when I first look at this, I'm going to ask myself, well, do I have logs on both sides or just one side? And now here I see I only have logs on one side. So again, telling me it's a type 2 equation. So I want to make sure that the one log on one side, right, I want to make sure that here I only have the logarithm. Well, there's a 2 in front, right? So this is a multiplier here. So if I divide the 2, I'm going to be rid of the 2, and I'm left with log base 7 of negative 2r. 0 divided by 2 is still 0. Now, I have one log on one side all by himself, and I have my numbers on the other side. 0 is still a number, and that's okay. Now I need to convert it to exponential form. So here I need to convert to exponential form. It says log base a of b equals x, then a raised to the x power equals b. So a raised to the x power is going to equal b. So a raised to the x power is going to equal b. So I'm going to say 7 raised to the 0 power is going to equal negative 2r. And now you have to note, anything raised to the 0 power is simply 1. So 7 raised to the 0 power is going to be, excuse me, not 0. Just got done telling you that it's 1, and then I wrote 0. 7 raised to the 0 power is 1. And that's going to equal negative 2r. Divide by negative 2, divide by negative 2. So r now is by itself, and that equals 1 over negative 2 is negative 1/2. And we're done. All right, let's try another one here. What happens if I have something like, if I have negative 10 plus log base 3 of n plus 3 equals negative 10? All right, so I have a logarithm, but I also have this negative 10 hanging around too. All right, so I have one log on one side, or I have logarithms on one side and not the other. So here in this instance, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get this logarithm by itself, right? So I only want the log by itself. So I have to get rid of this negative 10. And I get rid of the negative 10 by adding 10. So I add 10 to both sides. And negative 10 plus 10 is gone. I'm left with log base 3 of n plus 3 equals, and negative 10 plus 10 is 0. Well, now that I have the log by itself on one side, I'm going to convert it to exponential form. So I'm going to look, 3 raised to the 0 power is going to equal n plus 3. So 3 raised to the 0 power is equal to n plus 3. And as we just discussed, anything raised to the 0 power is 1, not 0, but 1. And that 1 is equal to n plus 3. And once I subtract the 3, 1 minus 3 is negative 2. And we're done. All right, let's take a look at one more example here. And this example, I need you to be okay. I need you to be okay with the number e. So here we go. I have the natural log of 2 minus the natural log of 3x plus 2, and the whole thing said equal to 1. Say what? Miss Perez, she's not here.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm recording a video. You're going to be on the internet from now on. Can you what? Lotion. I don't have any lotion. I'm quite literally making a video right now. Yeah, it's okay. All right, so I have 2 logarithms here on this side, and I have no logarithms on the right-hand side. What we need to do whenever I have logarithms, right, I need it to be one logarithm, only one logarithm. All right, so here I have log and then minus another log. And whenever I have that subtraction, how do I condense? Well, subtraction leads to division, right? So this is going to be the numerator, and that's going to be my denominator. All right, so here we go. We end up with the natural log of 2 divided by 3x plus 2. And again, the whole thing's equal to 1. Now I want to convert. I have one logarithm by itself equal to a number, so I'm going to convert from logarithmic to exponential form. And note, recall that the natural log of something is really log base e. All right, so it's a log base e. So here, the base here, even though it's not written, the natural log implies that it's base e. So e to the first power is going to equal all of this. So e raised to the first power is equal to 2 over 3x plus 2. Now, e is just a number. So we're going to treat it just like a number. Although I'm not going to write it out as 2.7 something or other, I'm going to treat it like a number. So I'm going to get rid of this fraction over here, and I'm going to multiply both sides by 3x plus 2. Multiply this by 3x plus 2. And now I get e times 3x plus 2 equals 2. Okay, again, I'm trying to solve for x, so I need to distribute the e to both. Like if this was 7, I would distribute the 7, right? If this was a 3 or a 2, any number, I would distribute it, right? So I'm going to distribute the e. So I have 3e x plus 2e equals 2, all right? So just distribute the e to both of these guys, right? E is a number, just treat it like a number. All right, so if I had something like 4x plus 2 equals 12. If I had something that looked like this, I would just subtract the 2, right? And then I would divide the 4. Well, here I'm going to subtract this guy and then divide by the number. So we're going to subtract 2e. So 3ex equals 2 minus 2e. And now I would just divide the number, right? We divided the 4 over here. Oh, excuse me. We're just going to divide the number, just like we would divide it over here. So here I divide by 3e, divide by 3e, and x equals 2 minus 2e divided by 3e. And that would be my final answer. These are challenging problems. These are very challenging problems. It's the last 4 problems on the homework.